What's going on, everyone? Hope you're having a good day. I wanted to stop by just for a few minutes. You remember a while back we did the 2014 crime statistics video. I'll put a card up that way you can review that video, but it's not going to be that video. What we're going to do, we're going to stop in and debunk lies that are told by the conservative media and the white supremacists. Now, the conservative media is actually more of the problem than the white supremacists, because the white supremacists get their misinformation from them. Now, the conservative media knows all the information. They know exactly what they're doing and what they're saying. But instead of telling the truth of the whole thing, they have to definitely push the narrative to have hatred for the black man and black woman in America. Now, some of you tell me that I should try to bring people together. Well, the only way you could bring people together is by destroying lies, destroying falsehoods. It's like a relationship. When you ever have a relationship with a man or a woman, it would not stand based on lies. If you want your relationship to be fixed, you would have to get rid of the lies out of the relationship and be truthful, right? So the first lie that the conservative media, especially the white supremacists, love to say about black people is black people commit all the crimes. And remember when I said that white supremacists are very remedial. They don't understand what they're reading. They don't understand how to decipher things. They feel that statistics that they're quoting is based off a population number. And it has nothing to do with population number. It has to do with the amount of arrest. Because if we focused on population number, that means our society would be very, very anarchy. And if you listen to the arguments that they say that black people are the most violent, yet they live in their neighborhoods and nothing happens to them. But at the same time, they want to say that we are inferior, or we can't be the most violent and inferior at the same time. And it's so easy to break all that down. But let's just stick to the main argument that black people are a small percentage of the population, but yet we commit all the crimes. And they say all of them. They didn't say a few of them. They say we're the most violent. Okay, so as you're looking at the 2014 crime statistics, now let me tell you about that. The government released the numbers every December of the year. So in December of this year, they're going to release 2015's numbers. So the one they always quote, if we go down, is the murder one. That's the only one they talk about, right? And they say, well, yeah, look, black people, they murder at a higher rate than white people. And one thing I believe in is the Bible teaches to agree with your adversary quickly. And if something is truthful that your adversary is saying, then do not argue it. Now, I will accept that. And I say, yeah, that's true. That number is high. And I know every reason why that number is high. And then I tell them right back, but you act like your number is 2%. You right behind them at 46.3%. And then you got to understand, when he has these charges, a lot of times their charges are reduced. We see that all the time. Or they don't get the time. Now, we were discussing the rape situation, and we were saying, look, according to the amount of arrests, 67% of them with rape were white male. We kept going on and on. Now, they talk about robbery. See, black people rob at 55%. Yes, robbery means robbing an individual. But if you go down to burglary, robbing a business or something like that, robbing a home, you're more likely to get robbed at your business or home by a white person at 67.6% and black at 30.2%. So in most of these areas that you see with the black, because I can definitely tell you where their crime is at, is in the low income, no job, people who are repeat offenders who literally are blackballed all over this country when it comes to trying to get back in society, which I think that people need to start suing the government all the way up to the Supreme Court for their rights. Because once you're done with your time in jail, then you should get your right to vote and your right to own firearms, and you should not be judged with discriminatory practices when it comes to trying to get a job. What we're going to do is scroll down. Now, look at the URL. I'm not making this stuff up. We're going to scroll all the way down at the bottom. Okay, where it says data declaration. Okay, now in 2014, 69.4% of all individuals arrested were white. 27.8% were black. and 2.8% were of other races. So what it's saying is that of the people that were arrested, notice they said the individuals that were arrested. They did not say those who are of a population. It's nothing to do with population, but the white supremacists and the conservative media, where they get that from, use this stuff to trick them into believing false narratives, half truths, to have them go along with their white supremacy. You know, Fox News is the biggest organization to do this. Now, continuing. So when they tell you, well, you know, blacks are only 12 or 13% of the population, but they commit more crimes, has nothing to do with the data at all. It's based on the number of arrests, and we don't know who's a repeat offender or not. OK, so based on what they say, based on arrests, 69.4% of all people arrested in this country were white. Now, they say of juveniles, persons arrested under the age of 18, 63% were white, 34.5% were black. Now, why is it that we don't see this say 69% of the individuals arrested were black? Why don't we don't see that? According to them, we commit all the crimes. This is what we do, okay? But yet the FBI is not backing that up. This is, you know, the thing they say they going on. Now, of the individuals arrested in 2014, 70% were white and 27.1% were black. Once again, why isn't black people leading in that? And once again, no matter what they say about per capita, what they say, all these little terms I like to use to justify their behavior, it doesn't match up with the raw data that says of individuals arrested, not about population. They say white individuals were arrested more often for violent crimes than individuals of any other race, and accounting for 59.4% of those arrests when it comes to violent crime. OK, now we just quoting truths. Now, of adults arrested for murder, 50.9% were black, 46.7% were white, and 2.5% were other races. Remember, it says arrested, not about population. And then when they try to say, you see, look, this is what we were talking about. I say, wait a minute. You act like you got a 2% arrest rate for murder. You act like you got a 5% arrest rate for murder. Shoot, even if you had a 12%, I'd be like, oh my God, man, we are horrible as black people. But once again, I tell you that murder rate is in areas where it's disenfranchised. Drugs are dropped into those communities. Guns are dropped into those communities. You know, you talk about Chicago, how people say that they drop guns in those communities. They don't even have gun shops that black people own to get this mess. But continuing. So it says here, black juveniles comprise of 52.4% of all juveniles arrested for violent crimes. White juveniles accounted for 59.6% of all juveniles arrested for property crimes. So as you can see, the youth are arrested more for violent crimes, and usually in those lower income areas that having the crime issues. Now, of juveniles arrested for drug abuse violations, 74.4% were white. White juveniles comprised of 55.3% of juveniles arrested for aggravated assaults. So what we're saying here, based on the numbers, is when they say that blacks commit all the crimes, they commit the most crimes, it does not add up to what the FBI has stated, even if you go through that table like we did before in the previous video, the 26-minute video. Now, let's cover the second lie that conservative media and white supremacists love to say about black people and also other groups of people. They say that we are the welfare queens and kings. This is what black people are. And they say when Donald Trump get in there, he gonna cut off all your food stamps. So we're going to put up the graph up on the screen here. And this is from the food stamp program for 2014. Now, the 2015 numbers come out in December of this year. We're going to look at it and see what's going on. Now, this is not based on the population like a lot of conservative media like to use and white supremacists like to say. This is based on the amount of cases they receive. And, you know, everything's broken down by race here in this country. So if you look at it here, they talks about and the total households who's receiving food stamps, and you will see 39.8% white, 25.5% black, 10.9% Hispanic, and like I said, look at the Asians. The Asians doing good, 2.4%. I tell y'all need to figure out what the Asians got going on and learn from your Asian brother and sister, because every time I read the numbers on Asians, they doing better than everybody. But I know a lot of reasons why they doing better than everybody. If I do that video, I'm hurt some feelings. But anyway, if you look at the children, on the aspect of the percentage of children that's on this stuff, you have 33% white, 23.6 black, and 11.2 Hispanic. Now, I don't care if elderly individuals get food stamps. I'm all in support of that. I'm support of people disabled getting food stamps. I'm cool with that. I'm also in support of veterans getting it if they need it. That's just, my opinion. They should treat them a whole lot better than what they do, instead of treating them like $2 whores and throwing them on the street. But that's a whole different story on how the government treats veterans. But when they come up to, you and say that black people are getting all the food stamps, you could say, no, we don't. We don't even lead on that. Actually, whites lead at 39.8. Now, from the 2013 number to 2014 number, actually food stamps actually went down, because last year whites was like a little over 40%, but now it's down to 39%. Even with blacks, everybody kind of went down on it a little bit. So that's good. That's an improvement. If everybody's number was like, the Native American, Asian numbers, that would be awesome. If everybody was working and doing their thing. But what we're trying to say is this: we cannot allow lies to continue when it comes to, us as black people. This is what causes division. This is what causes the white supremacists to think they're better. They're running off of lies and falsehood. So I'm trying to empower you that when they tell you these things in comments, when they maybe say things like this to you on your job, discussing politics or whatever, you have the tools to say that's not true according to this number, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna tell you something about that. When you start quoting the numbers to these people, they get this puzzled look on their face, like quick. And the next thing that will come out their mouth is this. It's happened to me so many times. You really educated. Like just shocked. I say why? Because I know the numbers. I live in this stuff. This is what I do for a living, literally, is live in these numbers so I can have the data to combat the lies and the propaganda of a lot of the mainstream media and what they try to do here. So, I just want to make sure to show you guys this stuff, that way to empower you to stop the lies of the conservative media and the white supremacists when they try to confront you, because don't let these people drag you into things that they don't even know what they're talking about. None of this stuff is based off of population. It's based off, remember, the amount of arrests and the amount of households who are receiving food stamps. It has nothing to do with population. None of these tables say anything about population. So that's something they made up to justify their thought process of white supremacy, because no matter what, they have to feel like they're better than you, and actually they're not really better than you. Now, it doesn't say nothing less than a person who really needs some assistance. Okay, everybody go through stuff. The only time I have an issue with people that need assistance is when you're trying to live on this mess as a lifestyle. I don't like that crap. Not at all. But if you worked, you lost your job, you did whatever, hey, you need some help, you got kids, it is what it is. There's no shame in that. But the media that tries to put out like it's ugly to need some help, and you want to do it based on racial lines, and basically you're going to hurt more white people than if you cut off food stamps. But you know what I'm saying? So, but when you ignorant like that, you don't research anything, and you're going on half truths and lies, you're going to do things like this. But I don't know, guys, make sure you just look at these numbers, learn these numbers, and press it in your mind. That way, when you combat the white supremacists in the comment sections, or even on your job, or whoever else that think they're better than you because of these numbers, you have, some ammunition of the truth to go back with them on. So let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure, you like and subscribe.